Well, looks like Nintendo's announced their newest console, the Nintendo Switch. And I figure since everyone else is probably doing it, I might as well give my 2 cents on my first impressions on this new console. A couple things to note is that first of all, this script's gonna be a little bit loose, cause I just kinda wanna go off the top of my head, so if it gets rambly, I apologize in advance. And number 2, most of this is speculation. I'm gonna be saying a lot of stuff that I'm making a lot of predictions, so if it doesn't line up, I don't want anyone going like, no. So I'm speculating. Don't hate. First of all, we can agree that this is definitely a Nintendo console, whether you love it or hate it. Nintendo's always been the kind of company that likes to innovate or tries to put a bunch of new spins on things, and this Nintendo Switch is definitely no exception, with its ability to be both a console and a portable device. A portable console, if you will. The console itself is very tablet-esque in shape and size, with, different controllers being able to be attached to it, but if you plug it into the Nintendo Switch dock, it'll post on your TV screen, and you can play games on that, therefore making it sort of a hybrid, just like people had speculated. And this idea is absolutely awesome. It's an entire leg up from what the Nintendo Wii U did, because what they were trying to do there was the thing where you could still play the games on the little tablet gamepad thingy. But the thing with that is that if you walk 2 feet away from the Wii U, then it would disconnect and start yelling at you. With this, you take the console with you, which is a lot more interesting and allows for a lot more freedom. This led to a little bit of worry in the Nintendo fanbase, considering the fact that portable graphics usually aren't as good as console graphics. And in this industry of consoles, you need to be able to have good graphics, otherwise you'll get eaten by Sony and Microsoft. That being said, Breath of the Wild is still releasing on both the Nintendo Switch and the Wii U, and it would be absolutely idiotic of them to have the Nintendo Switch have far poorer graphical quality if it was being released alongside the Wii U. It would just make the Nintendo Wii U look far better. And no company would make a further version of their product inferior to their past version, unless they're Apple. I'm still mad about the headphone jack thing! But regardless, I've never been a graphics nitpicker anyway, so that won't be too much of a problem to me. So long as it runs 720p and at least 30 frames per second on mobile, I'll be a happy camper. A lot of fans have also been worried about the battery life of this, and it's a legitimate concern. I mean, maybe if you plug it into the dock it'll charge, and it'll probably have a bunch of charging cables available, kind of like the DS, so... we'll have to see. On to games! Throughout the trailer, you could see that you could play a bunch of different games, such as Breath of the Wild, a new Mario game, a new Mario Kart game, as confirmed by the double item slot and King Boo being there, Skyrim, sports, and what looks to be a new Splatoon. Also recently confirmed are Dragon Quest XI, the new Sonic game, a couple other games by some other developers, and Just Dance 2017. Alongside that are a huge list of third-party developers ready to create for the Nintendo Switch. Seeing Just Dance 2017 on there almost confirms that there's going to be motion controls on this thing. How, I'm not quite sure, but hey, it's going to be there, so that's neat. Also, the huge number of third-party developers means that, hey, at least it's going to be easy to program for, so there probably aren't going to be any more gimmicks like the Wii U, because, the freaking Wii U was hard to program for, so there weren't going to be third-party developers. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Also, some quick hype for the games, because that's the reason we get these things. The new Mario game looks like there's going to be sort of Day of the Dead location we get to go through, which is pretty awesome. I always love that aesthetic. And the new Mario Kart game seems to allow you to hold 2 items at once, sort of like Double Dash, which is going to be super fun. Also, King Boo's there, he's cool. Now, before I get into my biggest point, I just want to talk about the fact that they aren't discs anymore, they're game cards, kind of like the DS and 3DS, which I think is pretty cool. So let's talk about the controllers. So here's the basic gist. You have Joy-Con left and Joy-Con right. They're used as your 2 controllers. You can play with them freely, kind of similar to a Wii Remote and Nunchuck. You can slide them into the Nintendo Switch itself, making it sort of similar to a Wii U gamepad. You can slide them into a Joy-Con grip, which sort of makes it more like a controller, or you can bypass the whole thing and just buy a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. It's fine to me. A super neat idea that allows for many different ways to control with just these 2 Joy-Cons. But what makes it interesting is when you get into multiplayer, you basically give 1 Joy-Con to one person and 1 Joy-Con to another. The Joy-Cons are designed so you have the same general control scheme for the 2 different people. That being the joystick being on the left and the buttons being on the right. Not sure about shoulder buttons, I couldn't really tell if there were shoulder buttons on there, but we'll assume there are for this example. That being said, there is a difference in where they're located, the Joy-Con left ones being located more on the left and the Joy-Con right ones being more located on, well, the right. In the grander scheme of things, this isn't that much of a difference, but in video games, especially competitive gaming, any minor difference can make or break you. But that being said, I don't see a lot of competitive people playing on the Joy-Cons, so frick. Also, you'll be able to connect Nintendo Switches to one another, similarly to how you connect 3DSs to one another, and you'll have a maximum of 4 players as made apparent by the grip pad thingy jobber. See, look, 4 dots, 4 players, just like the Wiimote. So final thoughts, what do I think about the Nintendo Switch? I think Nintendo's definitely trying to innovate as they usually do, and I think that maybe it'll work. I say maybe because, hey, Nintendo can go either way. The Wii U did terribly, the Wii did great, I don't know. That being said, the idea of a console handheld hybrid is a really good idea, and I think that Nintendo's executing it pretty well so long as the battery life isn't bad and so long as the graphics don't look like butt! There's a lot we're not going to know until it comes out, but you can bet that I'll be getting one. Cheers!